Jen Worsham, and I am the operations manager for Odell Barnes REO and Noteworthy USA, which are two businesses owned by the same two co-investors. So I mainly work for the investors as their kind of executive assistants, operations manager type position. So my mom is definitely the number one woman in my life that has influenced me tremendously. My father passed away when I was 8, and so my mom raised my little brother and I by herself, and we just saw a lot of her struggles and her failures. You know, that you see all of it, and I just became very aware of how strong and resilient she was. And she taught me to be very independent, and sometimes that comes back and bites you, but I think it's good. She wonders why I'm so hard-headed and independent, and I tell her it's because of her, because she showed me how to be strong and independent. So I balance personal and professional life. Well, that's a very big struggle, but it's something that I have tried to work on a lot in the last 6 months or so. I spent a lot of time trying to just pile a lot of projects on and just make as much money as I could for my family. It was really important to me just to not say no to opportunities because I wanted to support my family. But I realized in doing that it left me really short-tempered and really stressed out, and ignoring my kids a lot, and putting them in front of a TV and working. And I don't necessarily think that is a bad thing. They still do that every day almost at some point or another. But I have tried to stop saying yes to so many job opportunities and projects and things like that, because I want to purposefully spend some time at home. And maybe that means like we have to change our budget a little bit and save, not spend as much money on other things. But to me, I feel like I can make that decision on my own now, and it's worth it for me. So I try to value personal time just as I would professional time. And, time is money. So if you just always have to think about those two differences, I think. So a time that I had to be strong recently was I'm actually in the middle of it still. I'm going through a divorce, and it is a messy divorce and a hurtful one, and it's been one that just has not been an easy road at all. And there were definitely days where I just didn't feel like I had the energy, or if it was worth it at all for me to go on. But I think that having kids in those situations really helps, because they look at you and they remind you how important you are, at least to them. Get gentle.
There's a lot of eating baby egg.
Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Louie. Happy birthday to you. And so I think with any kind of hardship that I've gone through, I'll let myself feel that for a little bit. Like, I don't ignore it. I think that's also important, kind of giving yourself some time to cry about it or be upset about it, or feel whatever feeling it is that you're feeling, but then know when it's time to dust yourself off, stand back up, and keep going. Because the only consistent thing in life, people say, is change, but also that, the days keep coming. Like, it's always going to keep, time is going to keep going past you, whether you want it to or not. So it doesn't make a lot of, you're hurting yourself, I think, in the long run by spending a lot of time sitting in sorrow. I mean, I think you should sit in your feelings as long as you feel like you need to, but also with the goal of getting past that. And once you do get past it and you get up and you start doing things again, you can feel that you have like new strength. And it's kind of like scar tissue, like when you're cut and then it heals back, that scar tissue is stronger. And I think that sometimes I feel that same way too. The things that have been hard have also made me very strong. I stay motivated and focused. Well, that's also really difficult. That can be really difficult. So, coffee is a way that I stay motivated. I love planning and checklists and things like that. So finally finding a system that works for me in terms of task management was really important. And I finally realized that sometimes it's got to be like on a planner that I write in, not on the computer. But there's also a lot of things that I've started doing on the computer that I was doing manually. And so just finding those rhythms for me, I think has been something that has helped me stay motivated. And when I am not super excited about doing a certain task, I try to find other, positive things that can happen during that. So like, if it's a tedious task, okay, well, at least I get to like listen to music while I'm doing it. Or if it's a challenging task, okay, well, at least I get to use this big side of my brain. I try to just look at the bright side of whatever the project is and find a way to look forward to it. Because when you have the choice to see things that way. Like you can choose to dread it or you can choose to be excited about it. And even if you're tricking yourself, into being positive, that's a good thing. Trick yourself into thinking it's positive and eventually I think you'll believe it. A time that I had to step outside of my comfort zone was when I moved to Dallas, Texas. I grew up in Georgia on the East Coast of the United States, and I had lived in Florida a little bit and a few places in Georgia, but all kind of within a few hours of each other. But one day I just decided I wanted to move to Dallas. There was a job opportunity there that I wanted, and it was actually for my family's business. My family has a business and it was mostly run by the men in the family, and I really wanted to work there, and I tried to pursue it in different ways, and finally I just said, I'm going to move out there until you hire me. And I moved out there, and they needed a receptionist position, and I took that receptionist position, and it was really scary because moving somewhere where you don't know anyone, I had a few cousins that lived there, and I stayed with them for a few weeks, but outside of that and I didn't spend a lot of time with them. So when I moved out, after about a month of living there, I moved into my own apartment for the first time by myself, and it was just all really scary. I had to rely on myself a lot, and it ended up working out really well, and I was very proud of myself. I ended up working my way up to the account manager at that job, and really, really enjoyed every step of it. And I think that when I did end up leaving and moving back home, but I think that was an opportunity that was just really something that was scary, but ended up working out. So, important qualities I think that contribute to success would be, first, the ability to try to be positive. If you look at things in a negative way or continue to just, dread something, of course it's going to suck and you're not going to want to do it. But I think forcing yourself to be positive, and also giving yourself little things that you like. Like I like how my desk is set up and how my office is set up. And so I allow myself time to do that and make that nice so that I enjoy coming and sitting down and I feel not stressed out and I feel centered. So I think giving myself grace and, the few little things I need is also something that contributes to success. But I think just never giving up, I know that's a hard thing to say because, at some point you do have to give up too. If it's not working for you, if it's a job that just isn't working for you, I have definitely quit those jobs. I have said, no, I can't do this anymore. I quit one time. I was teaching a first grade, a pre-K first grade class, and I ended up quitting in the middle of the school year, which is really unheard of, but I could not, it wasn't working. It was not working for me. It was not working for them. It was not working for anyone. And I also did not feel morally comfortable with some of the things that I found out that they were doing, and I didn't want to be associated with that. And so I quit, and that's okay. It was scary for a little while because I didn't have a job for a little while. It finally worked out to where I found a few things and it worked out. But I think just knowing that you really should keep going, get up, keep going, keep doing the things, even if you don't want to do. Sometimes just putting one foot in front of the other is all it takes to just get to your desk, and then like, okay, you're at your desk. Okay, well, maybe I'll just like look at my email, and then just keep going slowly, baby steps, or jumping right in and just diving into a big project, knowing that, you like to, I also really love sitting down and working for 3 or 4 hours at a time and like really getting a project completed. But also knowing when to quit. I think those are some of the qualities, or I guess things to keep in mind when you're trying to figure out how to move forward. So yeah, I think that's all. My advice for other women is who are facing challenges and struggling, I think really is just like look within yourself, look inwards, and don't rely on anything external to help you, whether that be things like food or alcohol or TV, like too much TV or too much shopping, or whatever it is. Like I think that if you can just look in and find solutions inside, it will in turn make you feel so much more strong and resilient, because once you do get past the struggle that you're in, you'll be like, oh, well, I did that on my own. Like, I did that, me. And then I think that feeling can snowball into a better, continuing to trust yourself and I think just trust yourself to be able to take on anything. Yeah, I think that's it.